Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie Buchanan.
And I'm Robinson Miles. Now, we start today with a story that we brought you a little bit earlier this week. A Henderson County deputy facing assault charges has resigned. A press release from the sheriff's office says Deputy Gary Jones was placed on administrative leave without pay on Monday. As he reported, Jones was arrested on charges of assault, unlawful imprisonment, and harassment after he was named in a lawsuit by a woman who was shot during a pursuit.
Now, 14 News has left several messages with Sheriff Stauffer this week, asking him to comment and provide more details, but none of our calls have been returned.
Well, students in the Tri-State start heading back to school next week. Now, despite all the fun that comes with getting back into the classroom, mental health professionals say it can be a nerve-wracking time for kids. Psychiatrists say back-to-school anxiety does not discriminate by age.
Now, for younger kids, it's the fear of being away from home. For teenagers, maybe it's their social life and academic pressures that come into play. If your child is having symptoms of anxiety or depression heading back to school, the doctor says the best way to address it is to just ask them, give them space to talk about it. If symptoms continue for a few weeks, then seek professional help. Now, we spoke with that child psychiatrist today. You can see that full interview that our reporter Emma Beck did right now on our website, 14news.com.
Now, for our final headline here today, we've got an interesting story out of Webster County. Meat lovers with alpha-gal syndrome have a new place to eat in the Tri-State. Alpha Roost Farm says Papa's Pool Mill restaurant in Seabury is the first restaurant to serve ostrich on its menu. Well, Papa's is now offering alpha-gal friendly food options, so those who are allergic to red meat have more alternatives.
Well, although ostrich meat looks and tastes very similar to steak, it lacks the sugar molecule that can cause an allergic reaction. Alpha Roost Farm says it will take Papa's a couple of days to get their new dishes ready to go. That restaurant is located at Highway 41A in Seabury.
Well, that's going to round out the news portion of things here today. Of course, there's a lot more happening, so be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right, do not go anywhere. We'll get a check at your 14 First Alert forecast with meteorologist Arden Gregory right after this break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory, and this is a live look at the view from our 14 News Studio tower camera. It is a beautiful day out there. We've got lots of blue sky and just a few fair weather clouds kind of dotting the skies there. There are changes on the way, though. Clouds really push in tomorrow. It'll be partly to maybe even mostly cloudy, and then rain arrives late Friday, continues on and off throughout Saturday, and lingers into Sunday as well. So if you're not a fan of the heat, the good news is the clouds and the rain, that's going to keep us on the cooler side. Highs will only be in the lower 80s this weekend. The downside is if you do have any outdoor plans, you're going to have to make a backup plan as you may get some rain out there. Yesterday, our skies were very, very hazy, and that was due to smoke from wildfires in the Pacific Northwest getting caught in the winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere and wrapping up and back down and around into the tri-state. Today, we're not seeing nearly as much of that wildfire smoke, so our skies are looking much bluer. We are expecting more of that smoke to push in as we go through Friday and Saturday, but both those days are going to be mostly cloudy anyway. So I don't think you would have seen a whole lot of blue blue sky either way because those days will be mainly cloudy. But if we do get some breaks in the clouds Friday and Saturday, don't be shocked if the sky still has kind of a gray, hazy look to it due to that wildfire smoke. Keep in mind, though, all of this smoke is way high up into the clouds. It's not down into the part of the air that we actually breathe, so it's not impacting our air quality. It just gives the sky kind of a hazy look, which many of you may have noticed yesterday, especially around sunset. It gave the sky a very orange look as it was passing through all of that smoke going through the atmosphere there. We do have mostly sunny skies across the tri-state. Notice clouds and some scattered rain off to our northwest, stretching through places like Nebraska and down into Kansas there. Here at home, though, we've got just a few little white spots on the map here showing those clouds kind of dotting the sky, but it's mostly sunny and it will be through the rest of this afternoon. Now, by this evening, more clouds do start to build in, and it'll be partly to maybe even mostly cloudy at times through the night tonight and into Friday as well. We'll still get a few peaks of sunshine at least on Friday, but there will be more clouds around on Friday. By Friday afternoon, some spotty rain will be pushing in from the west. I'm not sure how much of that will actually make it into the tri-state, as the models are pretty consistently showing it kind of falling apart as it heads our way. But a stray shower certainly can't be ruled out Friday afternoon or evening. Many of us will probably end up staying dry, though, until overnight Friday night. Late Friday into early Saturday, then we've got scattered rain, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. Saturday is not going to be an all-day rain, but it is going to be cloudy with just very scattered rain kind of wrapping around into the tri-state on and off throughout the day. So it may rain once and then you're done, or it may rain 2 or 3 times through the course of the day, just depending on where exactly that rain sets up. And we'll then continue to see lighter, more scattered showers, less of a thunderstorm threat, but still scattered rain through Saturday night and into Sunday as well. So it'll be just kind of gloomy with very hit or miss rain on and off throughout the weekend. As for our temperatures, we're sitting in the mid-80s in most locations right now. Several spots sitting at 84 degrees right now, including Evansville and Owensboro. Our dew points are currently sitting in the low to mid-60s. Now, you may remember earlier in the week, we had the muggy meter just maxed out with dew points in the upper 70s and even low 80s. So this is a major improvement. The humidity, while it's not exactly crisp, dry fall kind of weather, we have seen a dramatic drop in the humidity, and it's much more comfortable out there today than it was earlier in the week. As we go through the rest of this afternoon and into this evening, we keep the mostly sunny skies at least for a little longer. Temperatures topping out in those mid-80s like we are right now. Then we'll fall back through the 80s and then into the 70s this evening on our way to eventually bottoming out in the mid-60s by the end of the night tonight. So it will be partly cloudy and comfortably cool out there tonight. Tomorrow, a few peaks of sun, but partly to maybe even mostly cloudy for a good chunk of the day. There's that very isolated chance of some spotty showers Friday afternoon and evening, with better chances of rain overnight Friday night. Tomorrow will probably be just a degree or 2 warmer than today because our winds start to shift around from the southeast, so I think we'll climb into the mid to maybe even upper 80s in some locations tomorrow afternoon, just kind of depending on how much of that sunshine we get, as it will probably start out partly cloudy Friday morning, then become mostly cloudy as we go through the day. Again, our rain chances really start to pick up overnight Friday night as this low pressure system pushes in from the northwest. Then as that passes basically right through our region, we continue to see scattered rain on and off throughout Saturday. Again, not a total washout. There will be breaks in the rain, but scattered rain will be possible on and off from early Saturday morning through the entire day as this low passes just right over top of us. That low will still be over our region carrying over into Sunday, so I don't see a thunderstorm threat really, but scattered rain will still be possible, just some light showers into the day on Sunday. Then by Monday, that low finally starts to push off to the southeast and we get some drier and clearer weather in here on Monday. As for our thunderstorm threat, obviously no storms to worry about today. It's mostly sunny. By tomorrow, there will be a risk of severe weather off to our west, but our rain chances here at home are much more isolated. And even as we do see some rain overnight Friday night, I think it'll be just rain and maybe some general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. So not anticipating severe weather at this time. By Saturday, the risk of severe weather will be focused mainly to our southeast. Not a major severe weather threat here, but you'll notice the southeastern half of the tri-state is included in a level 1 risk for maybe an isolated strong to severe storm Saturday afternoon. The main concern there is specifically for damaging wind gusts. So we could see just an isolated stronger storm with some gusty winds and some heavy rain. Again, no rain to worry about today, but we see this heavy rain threat starting to push into the tri-state on Friday. It'll be focused mainly to our northwest, but some isolated flooding can't be ruled out here Friday night, and that flood threat lingers over into Saturday as well, even though Saturday the threat will be focused mainly to our east. We are in that level 1 risk for an isolated flooding situation there. So Friday night into Saturday, rain, maybe a pocket of heavy rain, a few rumbles of thunder. Saturday afternoon seems like the best window if we were going to get any stronger thunderstorms. But even then, the concern would be maybe an isolated damaging wind gust and some heavy rain and flooding. So we're not anticipating any kind of major widespread severe weather of any kind this weekend. At worst, it would be an isolated stronger storm with some heavy rain and gusty winds on Saturday. In total, you'll notice we're pretty solidly lit up in the blues here. Most of us will probably pick up a ½ inch to an inch of rain from this, but depending on where those thunderstorms and heavier rain set up to an 1.5 to 2 inches of rain, very possible, just depending on where those thunderstorms set up. So keep that in mind. We're all probably going to get at least a little bit of rain at some point this weekend, but for some of you, it may be just a very light, very brief shower. Others, it could be heavy rain or thunderstorms, maybe even more than once. It's just going to be very luck of the draw with the scattered way this rain is going to be this weekend. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Again, mostly sunny, beautiful today. Tomorrow, the clouds start to move in. Then late Friday, we start to see the rain. Saturday is our best chance of rain. Still not an all-day rain, though. Very scattered, kind of on and off throughout the day Saturday. And then some of that rain lingers over into Sunday. By Monday, drier weather starts to take over, but there's still some isolated chances for some spotty showers and storms through the first half of next week. Tuesday looks like the best chance, but even then it's only a 30% chance, so many of us may end up staying dry. You will notice the clouds and the rain really cool us off this weekend, but as the clouds and the rain move out, we do quickly heat back up with highs into the upper 80s or maybe even low 90s again by the middle of next week. Let's check in on the comments here really quickly. Good afternoon, Suzanne, Carol, Laura, Libby, Cheyenne, Jeff. Jeanette is asking how cloudy Friday. The later into the day you get, the cloudier it's going to be. We could get a little sunshine Friday, but it would mostly be in the morning. I think by Friday afternoon, Friday evening, it'll be mainly cloudy out there, Jeanette. Let's take a look at the mowing forecast. Many of you probably thinking, I need to get out and mow my grass. Well, if you need to, I would say get it done today or tomorrow. Both those days look pretty good. Tomorrow's rain chances are very isolated, so I think most of us would be okay to get out and mow. Saturday and Sunday, not a total washout, but it is iffy. There's scattered rain on and off throughout the day Saturday, and some of it lingers into Sunday too. So I understand the temptation. It's going to be cloudier and cooler, so it might feel a little nicer out there Saturday and Sunday, but you're going to have to dodge the rain. So my advice would be to go ahead and get it done today or tomorrow. We are on our final couple days of July here. We've had a lot of 90s this month and several days even into the mid 90s. So we are running just slightly warmer than normal for the month of July. But honestly, you know, this is dog days of summer right here. 90s is not uncommon for this time of year, but we have had a lot of them this year. Our rain has been very scattered. So some of you have seen pockets of heavy rain and thunderstorms with big heavy downpours on days that maybe it didn't rain at all at the Evansville Regional Airport, which is where our official rain gauge is located. So officially, we are still running about 2.5 inches short on rainfall for the month of July, but I know that is not the case for everyone, as some of you have had heavy rain and even flash flooding at various times this month. Looking at the temperature extended outlook here. So this is the next 7 days, then I'm going to show you beyond that as well, okay? So I mentioned tomorrow a little warmer just because our winds start to shift around from the south. We'll climb into the mid to maybe upper 80s tomorrow. Lower 80s this weekend just because it's going to be cloudy with kind of scattered rain. There just won't be much of anything to warm us up this weekend, so we'll stay on the cooler side. Then as the clouds and the rain move out, temperatures start to heat up and we're into the upper 80s, maybe even low 90s by the middle of next week. Looking at next weekend and beyond then, the extended outlook does show that wetter weather moves out, drier air starts to build in from the west, and then temperature-wise, we're looking at above average temperatures from our region stretching down to the south-southwest. In fact, the tri-state is included in an area of the country outlooked as having a slight risk of extreme heat sometime between August 7th and August 13th. So, and they may even have, I mentioned that drier weather out west, places like Kansas down into Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, even parts of Missouri, they may have some rapid onset drought where it dries out very quickly, and they could see a worsening drought very rapidly during this time period as well. So that's something to monitor out to our west. So that's the next 7 days. Beyond that, it does seem like our rain chances may be back off, but our temperatures heat up. And so I know we're headed into the start of school now, but it does seem like even though summer is winding down and school is starting back, the summer heat is certainly not done with us yet, and we may be dealing with some hot, potentially even dangerously hot conditions as we get into middle of the month here and the start of the school year and all that. So that is something we'll be monitoring very closely, but none of that at least through the next few days. The main focus through the next few days is just on this scattered rain and potential for maybe some gusty winds and flooding over the weekend. But again, overall our severe weather threat is very low. It's mostly just going to be cloudy with kind of on and off rain this weekend. Just don't be shocked if you do get caught in a thunderstorm that maybe has some strong winds and some very heavy rain with it. By Sunday, I think we're looking at much milder, just kind of clouds and a few showers, and then we really start to dry things out, but then heat up as we go through next week. Good afternoon, Rebecca. Misty, not a fan of the rain. She wants the rain to stay away. I know a lot of folks are disappointed because it seems like it always wants to rain on the weekends, doesn't it? Just when you have plans, that's when it wants to rain. It can't rain on a Tuesday when I don't care. It has to rain on a Saturday when I've got stuff to do, right? So unfortunately, that is the case again this week. That's just how it shakes out sometimes. That is our luck. So I know folks have, into the summer pool parties and things like that going on as we are winding down summer. Unfortunately, not great weather for that. Again, a reminder that even if we don't have any strong or severe storms this weekend, if there is thunder and lightning at all, you need to move things indoors. Lightning can be very dangerous to people outside, especially people in and around water. So if you do have something like a pool party or something as you are closing out the summer months here, please, if you hear thunder, go indoors. When thunder roars, go indoors. Okay? If you're close enough to hear the thunder, you're close enough to get struck by the lightning. We don't need that, all right? Everybody stay safe out there this weekend. I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to wrap this up. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons will have an updated look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll do another streaming show here tonight at 9, so I hope you'll join him for that then. Everybody have a great rest of your day.